news, Lagos State Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu has signed the Lagos State Wealth Fund Bill and the Lagos State Civil Bill, which will be sent to the Lagos House of Assembly to be passed into law. This is even as the state officially launched its 30-year development plan, which will be implemented between 2022 and 2052. Blessed Omonese has the report.
Can we applaud Mr. Babajide Olusola?
It is the closing ceremony of the 9th edition of the Lagos Economic Summit tagged Betty 2022. What makes it more interesting is the fact that the state governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, signed into law two important bills which are aimed at enhancing the ease of doing business in Lagos in line with the state megacity plan.
It's my honor.
The governor explains that the Lagos Wealth Fund Bill signals the commencement of the state sub-sovereign green bond that will create sustainable wealth to government and the residents.
We've met with all stakeholders. It's been a bottom-up document, right? And it's for us is the audacity, for us to be able to envision such a very deep, well thought out document, right? And you've seen it, if you go through it, it's just on 4 critical pillars, right? And it's got about 20 different strategies. And like I said, it's a living document. It's not a document that is static. 5 years from today, they can retweak whatever it is they want to, but the fundamental pillars of which it stands will continue, to remain. One of it is to ensure that we have a thriving economy.
I'm here to present the future to the governor.
Another major development at this year's summit was the launch of the Lagos State 30-year development plan. Applauding this initiative is Mr. Gbolahan Yishao, who is a lawmaker in the Center of Excellence. He assured the governor of their full support.
Lagos is looking forward. Lagos is a planned city. Things that happen in Lagos is not by accident, but because you have architects, you have planners that look ahead and put plans in place so that Lagos will continue to grow and will be the biggest city in Nigeria and the whole of West Africa, as case may be. So that is what we've seen today. We're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about a human-centric city, we're talking about governance, we're talking about development. It doesn't happen by chance, it happens by plan. It's a participatory government. That is another thing you will take away from here. And the final thing I believe you take away from here is that whatever your government tells you, it will happen because it's practical and you are involved, you are owning it with government, and that's what Lagos is all about.
There is no doubt that funding remains key in achieving and actualizing all these laudable ideas and projects. But Lagos seems to be ready to face this challenge with innovation and more creativity in governance.
Part of what we talked about were many low-hanging fruits, including establishing an international finance center to help address some of these challenges of attracting investment. But the fact that Lagos considers its domestic investors extremely important. The funding for most of the things that are really important in Nigeria sometimes comes from the local financial sector. For example, the funding of the power sector, and for us, the funding of our rail lines came from the local banks. And so for us, we're looking for investment, but we want investment not just from foreign investment, not just from foreign investors, but also from local investors.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu also witnessed the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) between the Lagos State Government and Del York Group for Lagos Film City, as well as the MOU between the state government and Siemens Energy for electronics technician training with Siemens Energy.
This is the reason.
Blessed Omonose, TVC News, Lagos.
In other news, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has disclosed that the Nigerian government is in talks with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to restructure the country's debts. The minister also revealed that the country is considering topping from IMF's newly created food shock window that allow member countries to access emergency financing instruments. Speaking on the sidelines of the ongoing IMF and World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C., Mrs. Ahmed noted that the country is considering borrowing from the recent window created by the IMF for countries facing urgent balance of payment needs related to global food crisis. Commenting on the 2023 appropriation bill, the minister said the plan in the medium-term economic framework for 2023 to 2025 and 2023 budget scaled down on subsidy that the government has to carry, adding that the country was targeting a 3.7% growth for 2023. The federal government has revealed that it has no plans to sell the Transmission Company of Nigeria, urging the public to dismiss statements regarding a non-existing plan to privatize the government-owned power firm. According to the Federal Ministry of Power, some of the reports falsely claimed that they said privatization was to take place in the coming months. It stated that as part of the repositioning of TCN, job opportunities were being created, contrary to claims that there was no plan for mass disengagement of staff at the company. The ministry also disclosed plans by the government to upgrade, stabilize, and modernize Nigeria's power industry through various interventions, including the Nigerian Siemens Partnership under the Presidential Power Initiative, PPI. Outside our shores, Asian stocks followed Wall Street decline, and crude oil stayed weak today as investors weighed the risk of global recession amid hawkish Federal Reserve rhetoric and uncertainty about the Bank of England's commitment to stabilize markets. For MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares lost 0.57%, languishing close to Wednesday's half-year low. Japan's Nikkei slipped 0.48%, South Korea Kospi slid 1.15%, Hong Kong Hang Seng dropped 1%, and mainland Chinese blue chip lost 0.28%. FTSE futures pointed to a 0.18% decline at the open. German DAX futures signaled a 0.35% retreat. US E-mini stock futures offered some slight hope, though rising 0.1%, following a 0.33% decline in the S&P 500 from overnight. Finally, in business now, oil prices on the international market firm today, finding continued support from an OPEC Plus decision last week to cut supplies as the International Energy Agency warned that those cuts may push the global economy into recession. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude recorded an upward price margin of 0.23% to sell at $87.47 per barrel. Brent crude futures sells for $92.75 per barrel with an uptick of 0.32%. Bonnie Light maintained the red zone, selling at $94.23 per barrel with a decline of 1.41%. OPEC basket crude oil dealers offer $97.43 with an upsurge of 0.00%.